I can tell you in 60 seconds why your school is the best kept secret in town. You get amazing reviews and people love you, but attracting students feels like pulling teeth. Let me show you why. There's 3 reasons why you're not attracting the students that you want to into your program. The first one is because you are what we consider locally invisible. That means you're the best kept secret in your town. Nobody actually knows that you even exist. I bet there's been times where people have finally come into your school and been like, I never knew you guys were even here. If you felt this way, I'm gonna show you what to do later so that you can literally get leads everywhere in your local area. Another thing that we see is that a lot of times school owners are digitally forgettable. There's so much traffic, there's so many things that are happening day to day on social media, and you don't stand out. People say, oh, I've never seen your posts online, or they don't know very much about you because of this one thing. And most likely, you are currently internally untapped, meaning right now, you probably are sitting on a gold mine of potential leads through your existing students. Today in this training, I'm going to show you how we can go from being locally invisible to now attracting leads from everywhere, all over your town, and how we can take you from being digitally forgettable and get you leads on demand, and then going from internally untapped to having leads from within. Hey, if you don't know me, my name is Jennifer Waters, and I help school owners build wildly profitable schools that literally run on autopilot. Now, I started with my own school, grew it from just $3,000 a month to over $1 million a year, and then went on to teach over 550 other schools and academies across many different verticals, from martial arts to music, dance, private schools, tutoring, how to build wildly profitable schools that run on autopilot. So today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into these very same things that I was just mentioning earlier and how we actually get leads everywhere. We call this the magnetic marketing triangle. Now, it's a way to attract leads consistently to you so that you can then increase the amount of students who are enrolling on a regular basis. So let's start over here with getting away from being locally invisible to having leads literally everywhere in your town. The first thing that I like to deploy is something that I call ambassador marketing. Okay, ambassador marketing works really well if you have people in your area that literally would be an ambassador for you and send you business. Now, in my own school, we've had many different types of businesses that have done this for us. We've had doctors send us business, literally saying, hey, this is going to help children who have ADHD. We have had other business owners send us business. And what ends up happening is you create these ambassador relationships where you have community leaders that are sending you new business, and it's up to you whether or not you reimburse them for this or not. But ambassador marketing is a huge leverage point for you if you can create great community connections. And this is one of the things that we work with our clients on, is creating those really amazing connections. So another thing that we also deploy is when we're trying to figure out how do we get leads from everywhere, we want to be in the community. And we want to run community-based events. Here's why it's so important to run community-based events, and why I encourage all of my school owners to do this is because when you are in the community, you're no longer invisible, like what we just talked about earlier. People are literally seeing you personally, your face, or your team member's face, or if you're wearing logoed apparel, they're gonna be seeing that as well. And this is gonna help you spread the word, because now you're starting to become omnipresent. You're starting to be everywhere that your ideal students could be. So some types of community events that you might be at are festivals, fairs, school functions. If you're an extracurricular program, you probably wanna pair up with some of the local elementary or private schools. If you are a private school or you're a tutoring program, you're going to want to pair up with the extracurricular programs so that you can start working with them as well and start being able to refer business back and forth to each other through these community events. Now, your city is also a really great place to be able to find events. And sometimes people ask, well, Jen, where do I find these things? How do I actually look up what these events are in my community? And I would tell you, most likely you have a Facebook group in your actual town. Go there, look up, ask questions, and then you can also ask your your students that you have right now as well. Hey, do you know of any events that are coming up also? Okay, so the next thing that we want to look at is we want to make sure that you have micro boards in place all over town. Now, you've probably seen billboards in your area. I'm not asking you to go buy a billboard. I actually think that would be a huge misuse for most schools that are doing under $1 million a year. So if you're doing over $1 million a year and you're trying to really capitalize on your brand equity in your town, I think a billboard is one of the things that you could leverage after you've exhausted everything else. So what are micro boards? Well, think about what a billboard does. It's visible, people drive by it all the time. And the idea here is that they're seeing the brand over and over again. Like Nike might have a billboard and you see Nike all the time. And so the next time that you're in the store, you go, oh, there's Nike, I should go buy it. So it's really creating that top of mind awareness. We want to do the same exact thing with micro boards. So your micro boards are going to be in all the shops that are in your town where people go on a regular basis. Small restaurants, nail salons, hair salons, wherever you can put these micro boards, people are going to be able to see them visually, physically present. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, shouldn't my online advertising be a micro board of sort? It is, but it's in a different category. All the things that we just talked about right now about getting leads everywhere, we're physically out in the community getting those leads. And those micro boards are also a great way to do that. Our micro boards are usually about 2 inches by 3 inches. It fits inside of a business card holder, and you might have something on it like your special offer that you have. It's got to be visually enticing, so you want bright colors on it, and it's going to attract people to pick it up and look at it. Now, I'm going to give you a cheat code, but shh, don't tell anybody else. Put a QR code on it to your booking calendar for an introductory lesson or a tour, and people can literally scan that. Or if you have a website, which we'll talk about in just a moment, you could have the QR code scanned directly to your website as well. Speaking of digitally, we want to make sure that we're not digitally forgettable and that we have leads on demand. And so one of the first things that we do want to have is a website, and this website needs to be lead converting. A lot of times when I'm working with clients and we look at their website is not designed to convert leads. Their website is designed to be an information platform for their existing students. They'll have their schedule on there. They'll have upcoming events for the students on there. They'll have information about attire or curriculum or homework or things like that, but nothing that's going to take a person who might have scanned a QR code, who might have seen you somewhere in the community and Googled you, and then they click on your website. It doesn't take them from being a lead to becoming a student. And that is the type of website that we actually want. So what are some things that you're going to want to do on that website? The first thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that it has some sort of picture or video on it that is welcoming. We want smiles. We want people that are excited and engaged in what we do. You know, I'm from a martial arts background, so it's really hilarious to me when people maybe are trying to showcase their martial arts skills. Like I used to kickbox, I did MMA and jiu-jitsu. I would never ever put one of my kickboxing or MMA photos where I'm punching or kicking someone in the face on my website, because the prospective parent who might be looking at that website is going to be looking at it and going, oh my gosh, that's going to be my daughter getting punched in the face, not the one doing the punching. So maybe you have a soccer club. You probably don't want to have something where somebody's doing a slide tackle and getting their feet swept out from underneath them on that front picture. You're going to want something that showcases trophies or smiling kids or teamwork. And with private schools, we don't necessarily want, or tutoring, we don't want to necessarily have someone who's just sitting at a desk and staring at the sheet of paper, even though that tells us, oh wow, this student is studying and they're learning more. It's not helpful for a prospective family who's looking at a warm and inviting environment. So we always want to be thinking about the prospective family and who might be looking at our site. And we want to make sure that we're taking off any sort of, we call it black belt eyes when we look through something as if we already are an expert and we're a black belt. We don't want to have that on. We want to take that off. What would it look like for someone who's never engaged with you to make a decision to take the next step forward and book an appointment with you for your introductory lesson, your trial offer, your tour, whatever that might be. Next, we want to look at our Meta ads. If you're really wanting to generate leads on demand, Meta is the best place for that. Now, Meta stands for Facebook and Instagram. Both of them are combined on the platform. And so when we run ads on Meta, we're basically, for lack of better words, taking out an ad just like you would inside of a magazine. The magazine just happens to be on Facebook and Instagram. When you take out that ad in that magazine, there's also a very, very strong call to action. So it's something that someone sees and they go, oh, I need to go ahead and take action on that because it's either limited in nature, such as a limited time or a limited number of spaces, or because it's hitting some sort of pain that this person is having right now. For example, let's say that you run an adult ballroom dance program, like one of my clients. I would want to make sure that my ads spoke to being in a community and being able to hang out with other like-minded individuals or adults, because maybe I'm lonely, or maybe I don't have that many friends in a social environment, or maybe I want to get in shape through dance instead of going to the gym and lifting weights. So there's a lot of different pain points that I could touch on that with that ad will fulfill the desire that the person has. Meta ads often get a really bad rap because people say, well, the leads coming through here, they're not qualified, or they really aren't very interested. And for that, you'll want to make sure that you check out our conversion circles video that's here on this channel so that you can actually take those leads that are being generated and turn them into actual enrollments, because there is a secret to success with that, and it can't just be placing an ad and hoping that they magically enroll. So what about organic? Organic is a great way to create leads on demand through online marketing so that you're no longer digitally forgettable. The thing is that with organic type marketing, you have to be very consistent. Whereas Meta ads, you're gonna spend money. Organic, you're gonna spend a lot of time. Ideally, you wanna be doing all three of the things that we just talked about. You wanna have a website, you wanna be running paid advertising, and you also wanna have organic content that you're pumping out all the time. Now, some of my clients that do a phenomenal job on this. Johnny, he's got a school in Canada. He does a phenomenal job with creating YouTube content, Instagram Reels, TikTok, and people in his area know him. He does over 7 figures with his school, and he's literally become a micro celebrity. Now, maybe you don't want to be at that stage yet, and that's okay, but you do want to make sure that when you're posting organic content, it doesn't look generic. About 10 years ago, you could get away with posting a motivational quote or taking a picture of your classroom and just posting it up with some captions or things like that on it. That doesn't work anymore. Over the last 2 to 3 years, what's really become trending is producing video, and that video has to be raw and authentic when you produce it. So any platform where you can produce video on a regular basis, in addition to the pictures, is going to be great. You still need to be on top of all of those things, producing the pictures, the video, posting on Google My Business, as well as Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Again, ideally you would want to be on all of those and you would want to have a regular cadence. But out of all of these things that we just talked about right here so far, and we still have the internally untapped and building leads from within, which we'll get to in the next moment, you're going to need to be able to focus on what we call the conversion circles. And so the link for that video is in the description. So make sure that you definitely check out conversion circles. Now let's talk about internally untapped and getting leads from within. One of the best ways to do this is to make sure that you have referrals. When people try to get referrals from their students, they usually feel awkward about it. They go, man, I don't want to feel like I'm needy, and I don't know really what to say in order to get referrals. So one of the things that we do with our clients is we work specifically on installing this directly into the onboarding experience of a new student who's coming in, because the students that are most excited will refer you the most amount of people. And your students are going to be the most excited when they join your program or when they hit one of the milestone moments in your program, which is, again, something else that we help our clients build out. Once they hit that milestone moment, it's a great opportunity for you to ask for a referral at that point in time as well. And when you ask for referrals on a regular basis, it no longer feels awkward and you no longer feel needy because it's part of a system. That's the key to making sure that you get referrals on a regular basis instead of just saying to your students, hey, do you have any friends who might want to join us? That's kind of an old school way to do it, and I don't find it to be nearly as effective. Another thing that you want to do is you want to have an internal event each month. Now, your internal event, it can be paid or it can be free. Now, if you're doing a free event, one of my favorite ways to do a free event is to make sure that the existing students invite a friend with them and that we create this bring a friend environment. This works really, really great for extracurricular programs. Some of the private schools that we've worked with have a little bit harder challenge with this because obviously kids are in school already, so it's not like you can just invite a friend from a different school to your school for a week or a day. But you can take the same idea, create a one-day event, maybe it's outside of the school, regular school classroom hours, and do the exact same thing. You just have got to attract those students to actually bring a friend. So it could be a bring a friend week, it could be a bring a friend day, it could have a theme around it, which is also one of the things that we really find super valuable for our schools. And if you want access to a really cool goodie that we have something called the Event Sensei, and it's a GPT that you can use to help you be able to think about different ideas for these internal events. I'll link it up in the description of this video as well, and feel free to use it to help you create different types of ideas so you can generate new leads from within. Next, we need to talk about what do we do to have a massive community-wide event where we can attract people from all around our town as well as our existing students to come to us. And that, my friends, is what we call open house. Open house used to be something that was only done at the beginning of a school term. Or right before school started. We have an open house and we just generally let people know that they can show up and they can walk through and we'll answer any questions. Old school doesn't work nearly as well as hosting a fun and highly engaged event. We want to have an open house that literally knocks the socks off of people. Let me explain to you how to do something like this. First of all, I love having prizes, something that we can give away to our students who come, and then also to the leads who show up. Now, your open house could look a couple of different ways. It could literally be an open house and you're going to give people information about your programs, or it could just be to collect leads, which is by far an easier thing to do. When we have an open house and we're trying to do enrollments or answer questions without actually trying to enroll someone into our program, it really doesn't work very well for conversions. We want to have one singular goal that we are trying to achieve. That one singular goal would be getting a lead and getting the name, the phone number, and potentially setting an appointment as a bonus if we can do that right then and there. Our students would want to come to this event because there's something in it for them. We usually recommend doing some sort of contest, and this event, this open house, is the grand finale of that contest. The beauty of this is that if you tie it into a referral contest, then you will have gotten referrals for 4 to 6 weeks prior to this, and then this is the end cap. The open house is the big grand finale event where they bring all the remaining friends. Maybe you give away extra points or tickets for bringing more friends to the event. And then all of a sudden, you've got a bunch of leads who are showing up. Now, another way that we've also ran this in the past has been around specific holidays. Holiday events are great, and you could consider that an open house as well. For example, trunk or treat, or Christmas with Santa, or something like that, where we're leveraging the holidays to be able to create traffic where there wasn't any before. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, I have another video called the Wildly Profitable Blueprint, where I actually take you through step by step what we do to help school and academy owners build out their own wildly profitable school that runs on autopilot. So make sure you check that next.